For this story time, that's right, we are here for another story time. You already know. So before we get into this video, you already know the deal. Like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, all that good stuff. So this story time is gonna be about the time that I got robbed, not once, but twice. So back in 2014, January 2014 was my first time moving to a new city. At the time I was living in Nashville, and I decided to get a new scenery, so I ended up moving to Atlanta, Georgia. Martin Luther King's birthday, actually at home, one of my friends called me and was like, hey, I'm in the city for MLK weekend, won't you come up, link with me, let's go hang out, let's go see what the city's, gonna be about for MLK weekend, because y'all know MLK weekend in Atlanta, it's a whole party fest, especially for the LGBTQ plus community. So anyway, I was like, cool, that's cool, let me get ready, jump in the shower, whoop de whoop, get to the train station, I'll meet you. If you know about Atlanta, then you already know how the West End is. The West End is really, I'm not gonna say a bad area, but yeah, it's bad. It's pretty much, I consider it as the hood, Cascade, that whole little thing. Anyway, so I have to go to the train station to get downtown to where he's at. So I decided to not take an Uber, not take a Lyft, but walk to the train station. Now the train station was maybe 5 miles away, so it really wasn't a long walk, but I was like, shoot, I ain't gotta do nothing but cut across these streets, here, boom, there's the train station. So I leave out the house, cut up a street over from where I was living at the time, and I cut a corner and I'm get to walking and I see this car pass by me, not paying any attention or whatever, so I'm just steady going, minding my business. So the car ends up turning around, and next thing you know, there's a car pull up beside me. This guy gets out and holds a gun to my face like this. Like, we are close with a gun in my face telling me to give me all my shit. So at this time, like, you really don't know what to do, because this is the first time a situation like that ever happened. A gun is in my face, somebody's asking me to give them all my shit, so of course I give them all my stuff. Now at that time, yeah, I was scared, but I don't think everything wasn't registering in my head that, like, hey, you getting robbed right now. So, I end up giving him my cell phone. I had a chain on. I end up giving him the chain, and he jumped in the car and took off. Now, mind y'all, I'm right down the road from where I live at. So I end up going back home, and like, as I'm pretty much running home, I'm trying to register, like, did I just get robbed? Like, really, did this just happen to me? So get home, I call the police. I also get online and get into my iCloud, locked up my phone. Also, at the time, I think iCloud is still like this. I really haven't checked with my phone. But you can put a message on your screen, so when someone turns it on, the phone is locked and it displays the message. So I end up displaying the message like, hey, this phone is stolen, contact such and such. So police come, do the statement, get my what happened and all that good stuff. Contact my family, tell my family what's going on, because mind y'all, I just moved here to this state. I don't have no family, no friends, or nobody in this city, so I'm new here and I'm by myself, and I just got robbed. So you can already imagine what's going on with my family back at home. Like, is you okay? Do you need to come back home? Like, did you get hurt? What's good? What's going on? So that situation happened. I say maybe a month and a half later, get a random phone call from the number that I had put on the iPhone. So this call, I missed the call, I ended up getting a text message. So the text message was pretty much like, hey, this is such and such. I found this phone. If you want this phone, then meet me in, I can give you your phone back. So the person I was living with at the time, they was kind of like skeptical about it. It was like, no, I don't think you should go. So, you know, excuse me, we end up contacting the police, telling the police, hey, we got this text message. We end up speaking to the person. The person claimed to be the guy who robbed me mother. Now, no, I take that back. She was the guy who robbed me girlfriend's mom. Now, the story goes that she tells us she tells my friend, because I wasn't there to get the phone call. The story she told was, hey, I found this phone. I opened the phone up. I seen this message on this phone, so I decided to call y'all. I asked my daughter where the phone came from. She said it was the boyfriend's phone. From what we was told was the boyfriend was a very trouble type of guy, and her daughter had been dating him, and she was trying to pretty much get her daughter away from dating this guy. So if it means turning him in by any means, then oh well, turn him in and he's gone. So she kept trying to meet up with us to get back the phone. We tried to contact her a few times to meet in public. She never would reach back out. She never would, pretty much, yeah, we never heard back from her. So that was kind of a done deal, which I really wasn't tripping. At the time, it was an iPhone 4. Girl, iPhone 4s, you can get them anywhere. So at that time, it just really wasn't nothing. So that was that deal, that situation that happened. My first time getting robbed. So that was my first experience. We're gonna move on to maybe, I say that happened in January, February, and March. So January, February, and March, when all that, you know, took place. And I ended up moving into my own place by April of that same year. I was in my own place. Now we are still on the West End. I'm still on the West End. I'm living on Cascade. So if you know, like I said again, West End, Cascade, you already know the deal. So months go by. We are now in maybe August, September. I know it was cold at the time. I just can't think which month it was. So we're gonna say August. We're gonna say August, September. So let's just say September. I was working at a restaurant, which I was pretty much still working at that restaurant back in January. Working at this restaurant, Buckhead. I was pretty much working a late night shift and had to hurry up and get out of there to catch the train so I won't miss my last bus to get home on the West End. So, end up getting out late, end up catching the train. By the time I made it to the West End train station, the buses are gone. There's no more bus for the night. Pretty much going my route, which is on Cascade. I think I didn't have enough money for an Uber or a Lyft, so that's why I didn't take an Uber or a Lyft once again. And I decided I'm gonna walk home. Now, my house from the West End train station, where I was living at the time, up Cascade was probably I'm gonna say a 15-minute walk, maybe between a 10 and a 15-minute walk. I'm gonna say a 15-minute walk from the train station. So, mind y'all, it's like maybe 11 something, about 11:30 at night on the West End, Cascade, walking from the West End bus station, MARTA station, all the way to the middle of Cascade. If you know anything about Cascade, it's kind of like before you get to the golf court or the golf field, whatever you want to call it, and before you get to the police station is kind of where I was living in at the time. So I was walking from the bus station that far, which was pretty much kind of far. And like I told y'all, it's like after 11 at night. So boom, I'm walking, you know, everything's all Gucci, everything's cool. So I may get maybe two streets up from the street that I actually live on. And once again, a car rides by. The car ended up blowing. So, you know, I didn't pay it no mind. I kept on walking. So, next thing you know, the car stops. The car turns in the street that I'm coming up on. And, oh God, I don't want to get choked up telling this story, because this situation was more serious than my first time getting robbed. So I'm coming up on the street, and I see this guy comes to the end of the street, and he's like, hey, come here. He's like, hey, come here, you know, trying to wave me over into the direction of where he just came from. Now, mind you, the street that he came from is not lit up, but it's a little dark. And I'm on the main street, and there's a few lights. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't know you, I'm good. So I'm steady walking. So he's like, hey, come here. So as I'm like, cause I take that back. They wasn't at the street ahead of me. They was at the street behind me. So I have already passed the street. They turned down the street in front of me and came back around and parked on the street that I just passed. So, dude is still trying to get my attention, tell me, come here. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I'm still walking. So then that's when another guy comes out. The other guy comes out. Yeah, I haven't told this story in a minute. Like, I really just kind of didn't want to talk about it, but I really just wanted to share it with y'all. The other guy comes out of nowhere, and I see him telling the other guy, he's like, give it here, give it to me, give it to me. So that's when I noticed he has a gun. So he tells the other guy, he was like, give it to me, give it to me. So he ends up grabbing the gun. So when I see him grab the gun, I take off running. So as I'm running, he's shooting. The guy is actually shooting the gun. And I'm hearing the bullets, and I don't think I know is I hear the car start to come behind me. So the guy actually jumped in the car and started to pursue me as I'm running. So like, I get pretty much almost down the street from where I live at, and I'm still hearing the other guy like behind me, like shooting. And I don't know, I guess it was guy. It's no guess, it had to have been guy. That none of those bullets hit me at all. So as I go to make my turn down my street, like I'm still running, there's another car that comes out, and you know, they turns off my street. So I'm like on my street now, and the other car with the guys in it, they actually hit my street. So as I'm coming on my street, they're coming. And like, y'all, I was literally out of breath. Like, I could not keep running. Like, it was over with. I'm out of breath. So I end up, it was a house across the street. I end up just like running to the yard, and I just like fell out because like I was so tired. So the car ends up pulling up. The guy jumps out with the gun, and he's like, why'd you make me run? Why you make me run? Why'd you make me run? He's like pointing the gun, and I'm just like, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. And he's just like, give me all your shit. Give me all your shit. So like, I'm literally giving my stuff, and I'm just like, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. And I don't know what happened, but I just know the car that had left off the street when I was coming on the street turned back around and came and pulled up. And when that car pulled up, the guy jumped in the car that they was in and took off. And the guy got in the car, and he was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Come to find out, the yard that I fell in was the person driving the car that pulled back up. And so he was like, I saw you running, and I turned back around and saw what was going on. And I don't think I could do it. I was just like, I just got robbed, and they were shooting at me, and that was that. And he was just like, come in. And he had me come in, and you know, I was able to use his phone. Sorry y'all, my phone had died and pretty much cut off that last video. But like I was saying, the yard that I ended up falling in was actually the guy who turned around and came back. It was his yard in his house. So he ends up pulling up, asked what's going on. I told him what had just happened. So he ended up inviting me in to use his phone to call the police. Now mind y'all, I live maybe 3 houses, maybe 4 houses down from where the yard was where I was chased to. So I'm kind of happy that I did make it home for them to know exactly where I lived at. But anyway, I called the police. The police came, got my police report. We tried to track my phone through iCloud, but apparently they either busted the phone or threw the phone. We never could find out where the phone was trapped, but I know they did take my debit card that was in my wallet. They did end up using it to get gas from the gas station, and that was it. And after that, I probably stayed on the West End maybe a few more months, and then I ended up moving, letting my house go, and moving downtown, getting off of the West End. So yeah, those are the 2 times that I was robbed at gunpoint. I pray to God that I never have to experience that ever again. Very scary moments of my life. I think the second time that I was robbed was pretty much the most scariest moment. Just the fact of I was being shot at, I was being chased, and if that person that lived in the house would not have turned back around, there's no telling how everything would have ended. I might not even be here right now to tell y'all the story. So yeah. So I hope y'all enjoy this story time. There was nothing really. So, well, I say one thing to learn from this is don't walk in places late at night, especially anywhere in Atlanta. Never be by yourself. Have you some protection and be alert. I mean, I was alert, but I was just making dumb decisions of walking places in areas that was not safe for me to walk in. But that's it. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like I said, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like, and even comment. I mean, you know, if you ever had an experience like that, hey, leave it in the comments, share it, and hope y'all have a good one.